Not only from exam perspective, this video is a must watch for every student of journalism and mass communication. And this is the most important video of the series Indian Press Law. Hello and welcome back viewers to another brand new episode of At Ease No Media, and you are watching the series Indian Press Law. This is the 11th episode where we will be talking about defamation. So let's continue with the video. Well, today in this video we will be learning about defamation, and the key points of today's lesson are definition, meaning, types, punishment, section 500 of Indian Penal Code, the defamatory statements and exceptions of defamation. So let's continue with the video. So the definition, according to section 499 of the Indian Penal Code, which is mentioned over here, is that defamation as whoever by words either spoken or intended to be read, or by signs or by visual representations, makes or publishes any imputation concerning any persons intended to harm or having reasons to believe that such imputation will harm the reputation of such person is said, except in the case hereinafter accepted, to defame that person. As per the previous slide, the meaning of defamation is when some person, be it journalist or any individual, tarnishes somebody's image to a man's reputation. That means when someone tarnishes or insults someone, it means by speaking or writing something damaging or diminishing the status or personality or prestige of a person. That means so why we are reading this in press law? Because journalists, when the individuals get insulted by the words of any journalist, then it is said that the journalist is defaming somebody's image. That's why it's known as defamation. So to put it straight, to keep it simple, it means tarnishing somebody's image or insulting someone. So now let's move on to the types of defamation. Broadly, defamation can be divided into two parts, libel and slander. So libel can be divided in another further two types, that means libel per se and libel per quote. So per se means falsely written accusation, and per quote means which seems perfectly innocent but libelous under certain circumstances. Now moving on to slander, that means the spoken part. Libel means written insult, by writing the person is insulting someone in newspaper or anywhere other, and slander means by the means of words. Journalists and media persons often become victim under the section accused in a media person. That means speaking something wrong. So the two types of defamation are libel and slander. Libels means written defamation and slander means by the use of words, spoken defamation. So let's move on to the next part. Talking about punishment, punishment is simple imprisonment up to 2 years. Now talking about media houses, so the punishment may be harsher because he or she, that means the journalist, is more powerful than any ordinary citizen, right? So journalist is having a great responsibility and wide access, so they must be more careful before defaming any individual, right? Now press often collides with the government's right of free speech versus right to free press. That means in India we are not enjoying any freedom of press, so there is a clash between the government's right of free speech. That means we know that citizen and journalist are congruent, they are same. So as a citizen of India, we are having the right to speak. That is the fundamental right of one citizen. Now there is a collision between both, the government right to free speech versus right of press. So right to publish, though they are having the right to publish, but there must be certain limitations. So the journalist, having a great responsibility and wide access and more powerful than the ordinary citizen, they must keep certain points while commenting on some issues. So the points of defamation the journalist must keep in mind before stating any comments. Now let's quickly move on to the next part, that is section 500 of the Indian Penal Code. So as we have discussed, the punishment is simple imprisonment up to 2 years or fine. But there are 4 types of special defense available to media person acting for defamation. That means there is some defense for the media persons. So what are the defenses available for the media persons? The defenses are justification, fair comment, privilege and apology. So the first weapon is the justification. If the journalist is having justification for his statement and the statement must be for public good, then it will be a non-defamatory statement. After that, coming to the next point, the fair comment. So if the ground of the statement was made as a fair comment and as a good faith for the public good, then it will be a non-defamatory statement. And the third is privilege. If a journalist has already defamed someone, so the journalist is having some privilege, absolute privilege and qualified privilege. With the help of some sources, the journalist can justify themselves. And the privilege, the absolute privilege, like publication of reports evaluates, the journalist must evaluate the reports, and he or she, the journalist, as we have discussed before, the journalist is having some extra powers than ordinary people. That's why he is getting privilege to comment on some issues. As we know that media is the fourth estate, so to inform, to aware, to educate the public, the journalist to some extent can defame person, but it might be and it should be for the betterment, for the public good. And the qualified privilege, the absolute privilege is that the journalist is having the power of his media house, and the qualified privilege is that the journalist may report or may seek help from any judges of the court for the defamatory statement. If the journalist is having the justification for that statement, then the journalist is having privileges also. So one goes absolute privilege, that means the support of his media house, and qualified privilege, that means the support of the big shots like the judges of the different level courts. Now the next part comes the apology part. So if the journalist, after defaming someone, regrets with the expression of apology, then the express publicity in written or in by words, if the journalist apologized in written or by words, then the defamatory case will be removed from that particular journalist. So these 4 are the main weapons of journalist to protect himself from any defamatory statement or any defamatory case. In spite of having that 4 weapons, the journalist make a defamatory statement at his or her own peril. That means he may face a criminal charge or also a civil action for damaging the reputation of another individual. So the journalist is making defamatory statement at his or her own risk. An intimate knowledge of the law of defamation is essential for every journalist and publisher of newspaper. That's why this particular press law is implemented in our syllabus, so that we have a clear knowledge and clear idea about the defamation. So moving on to the third point, that is civil law of defamation has not been codified in India. Unfortunately, there is no civil law of defamation. So Mr. R.C.S. Sarkar, Indian civil servant from 1908 to 2008, in his book The Press in India mentions that law of defamation has an important bearing on freedom of expression. Exceptions are always there. As we have discussed in the previous slide, that civil law of defamation has not been codified in India. Therefore, civil action against defamation is based on English common law, subject to statutory exceptions. Now, the 10 exceptions of defamation that we will be discussing in this slide. The first thing is that imputation of truth which public good requires to be made or published. So here the main point is imputation of truth. If the statement is correct and it is for public good. So the 2 key points are imputation of truth and public good. So truth and public good. Mark the words truth and public good. So we know that truth is always better, and for common people's good, if the truth is mentioned by the journalist, then it is not defamatory. So good faith, if the journalist is saying or stating any statement for the good faith, then it is not defamatory, and it may inquire with due care and attention to satisfy the truth, to satisfy the public with the truth. So it is not defamatory if the imputation of truth which public good requires to be made or published. Now moving on to the next part, that is the public conduct of public servant. So it is not defamation to express in public faith in the opinion whatever with respect to the conduct of any public servant in carry out his public function. That means the journalist can defame or can highlight the truth against any public servant for the public good. So here is the catch. The journalist can state any statement for the public good against the public servant. So to put it straight, the journalist can make statement against the public servants as well without defamating that person. So now moving on to the next part of this exceptions, that is the third exception, which is conduct of any person touching any public question. So it is not defamation if any person conducts of any person touching any public question, that means the question which is made for the public. So it is not defamation if anyone makes any defamatory statement for the sake of public, and keeping in mind it must be for public good and we must not exaggerate points, right? So it is not defamation. So moving on to the fourth point, that is publication of reports of proceedings of court. It is not defamation to express in good faith the public reports of proceeding of court. So taking the shelter of law and filing case against any individual is not defamation. Moving on to the fifth point, it is not defamation to express in good faith the merit of case decided in court or conduct of witness and other concerned. These exceptions mention that anyone can provide their opinion in any running case of the court. That means it is not defamation if any journalist provides his or her opinion to any ongoing court case. So now let's move on to the sixth exception in the next slide. The sixth exception is the merit of public performance. So the merit of public performance is quite relatable in today's world, because it is not defamation when anyone asks to any performer asks to the public to comment down. That means they are willingly asking or they are welcoming the public to comment down. That means it is not defamation if anyone asked for the review. Now talking about the seventh point, that is censure passed in good faith. In good faith by public having lawful authority over others. That means it is not defamation if any parents scolds or if any parents defames his or her child, if teacher scolds the student. But it is defamation if the servant is ill-treated. That means parents can guide their children, teacher can guide their children. So this is not defamation if parents says or teacher says anything to the children, but it is defamation if the owner misbehaves with their servants. Moving on with the eighth exceptions, that is accusation preferred in good faith to authorized person. The seventh and eighth is more or less same. Now the eighth exemption states that it is not defamation if any superior in an organization scolds the subordinates, because this is for the sake of the organizational goal, for the organizational development. Now moving on to the ninth point, that is imputation made in good faith by person for protection of his or her interest. So let's take an example. It is not defamation if a customer Z not giving money to the shopkeeper. So the shopkeeper is having the right to impute that customer Z in front of everybody. Hence it is not defamation if imputation made in good faith by person for protection of his or her interest. When it comes to the protection of any particular person's interest and it is for good faith, then it is not considered as defamation. Now moving on to the last part, that is caution intended for good or person to whom conveyed or for public good. That means it is not defamation if anyone warns or makes caution intended for good, for public good, then it is not defamation. That means if someone warns the public by defaming any other individual's reputation, then it is not defamation, and we must keep the point clear that for public good. So concluding with the last 10 exceptions, any statement is not defamatory if it is made for public good and public awareness. So this was the exceptions of defamation. With that, we are concluding with our lesson, defamation. Thank you guys for watching this video. Keep supporting At Ease No Media.